Hi Taurus and people who related to the image of two magpies. I'm going to do your very quick, as quick as I can, Celtic cross. So internally, you, and this is one based on Rachel Pollock's, we have you as the Six of Pentacles jumping out already, and how that's making you want to act or act. Four of Cups. Sort of opposite energies. That's interesting. Oops, flipping cards. Let's just put those back in. And something for the basis of your reading. Something for the basis of the reading. Oops. It's been raining here, so I'm trying to rescue these cards from the rot. So we've got Queen of Swords and the Five of Cups, and something from the recent past. The reason I did the two of something from the recent past, the two of two magpies, incidentally, is just before I started to flew over the top of us, which is a lucky sign. And so here we have from the recent past the Two of Pentacles. Very wet here, and something coming, a potential outcome rather. Got two more cards. Gosh, the Star, which I'm going to hide a bit, and the Nine of Swords. It's really interesting. I'm seeing sort of a bit of a fight in the energy coming up in the near future. We've got the Hangman, the Four of Swords, the Three of Swords. This is a lot. The King of Wands and the Ten of Swords. Hanged Man, Four of Swords, Three of Swords, King of Swords, King of Wands and Ten of Swords. There's a lot of swords going on and a bit of a fight between balance and anxiety, I would say. Resistance. Your attitude, please. Your attitude, please. For Taurus and the two magpie people. Your attitude. Your attitude. King of Cups, that makes sense. It's all at sea. And your environment, please. Let's have a card for your environment. Let's have a card for your environment. The Emperor. And gosh, that's the fighter jets flying by doing a practice run. And your hopes and fears, the Empress. Wow. Right next to each other, the Emperor and the Empress. And an outcome, please. Yep. Eight of Coins, lovely. Okay, so yeah, as I said, we have got three majors, and then this strange attitude, this strange mix between a sort of resistance to moving forward and then a clear thinking is what really jumps out, because at the basis of the reading we've got the clear thinking card and then the card of focusing on the wrong thing. And in your internal and external attitude, let's just jump in. We've got internally, you actually feel very balanced and fair, and things are kind of ordered, and you want to be in a position to give and receive fairly. You want to, you're at a stage, because it's a stage card, which is indicated by these two little lines. You're at a stage of feeling as if things are sort of relatively balanced, and you are clear about what would be fair in this situation. That's internally. But externally, there's a resistance to taking this offered cup. So maybe you're worried it's going to knock some sort of balance off. I suspect that's what it is. There's an internal balance. There's something being offered to you, and you're worried that that is going to throw the internal balance, because it's a cup from God or from source or from nature or whatever you believe in, goddess, and he's got his arms firmly crossed and he doesn't want anything to do with it. But the advice is usually take the cup. You can always change your mind again. So it's interesting, and that's a 4, and we've got the major 4 coming up later in your environment. So it's sort of showing there's a sort of cup of stability, really, that's being offered to you that you're not really up for. In the basis of the situation, we have the Queen of Swords and the 5 of Cups. So going from the 4 of Cups to the 5 of Cups. So there is a logical step forward, but you are focusing on what would be lost if you take it, rather than turning around and focusing on these 2 cups that would be standing. As I say, I think it's probably because you've got to some sort of equilibrium and you don't want to upset it anymore. And so the idea of this next logical step, because the Queen of Swords sees things very, very clearly, and she raises her sword of truth and she says it like it is, and she doesn't get overwhelmed with emotion. But part of you is like, yeah, but if I do that, what am I going to lose? But turn around, look at these 2 cups, because it's going to get you over that beautiful white bridge in the background, and get you to the next phase of your life. In the recent past, you've been juggling 2 options. He's quite happy about it, but maybe this represents you mulling over these 2 ways of being, staying as you are, or moving forward. It's a stage card. Pamela Coleman Smith was a set designer, the woman who illustrated these cards, and she was given free rein to do what she wanted on the minor arcana, and in it she has quite a few of these cards which have this double line indicating it's like a sort of set so I always see it as just a stage. It's just a stage of your life that probably will move forward. There could be a scene change soon. So there's been a sense of either physically, which the 2 of Pentacles would suggest, actually, is kind of juggling 2 types of ways of being, keeping the old way going and thinking about the new way. In your potential outcome, we have the card of healing and the card of worry. And so I love that, because I think, I can't show you all of her body because she's naked, but this card here is obviously of somebody overthinking, over worrying, and it's nighttime when thoughts become kind of ridiculous and we fixate on things and we blow things up and we can't find logical answers and everything feels quite dark and claggy. And then we've got the card of healing with it. So it suggests that this worry that you've got that's stopping you moving forward is going to actually give way to a sort of point of healing, because the Star card comes after the Tower card, and it is really where she's naked, she's able to be vulnerable, she's able to pour her emotions into the land and into the unconscious with this pool. And she is very balanced, and she's living by the star of Venus and the star of her bright hopes and dreams. And she's able to communicate. So I think it's indicating that this stuckness is going to give way to something much better, and you're going to let go of these worries, this fixation on things that, I love this little bedspread here with all these different details on it. Lots of them are symbols of the zodiac. It's the kind of minute fixation that we get at night. I think we all know that feeling. It's probably something to do with our bodies, and obviously our subconscious is processing things, but it gets very confusing, doesn't it? So in the near future, I decided to take all of these cards. Oh, damn, one of them's got a bit of water on it. That's annoying. We're dropping water. That's okay. So we have the Hangman. So seeing things from a different perspective, getting a bit of a rest. This is the opposite of the 9 of Swords. This is the 4 of Swords. So again, another 4. We've got the 4 of Cups, refusing this opportunity. Now we've got the 4 of Swords, where we're realigning, we're healing. It goes very well with the Star card. It means getting everything aligned, recuperating after quite a sort of stressful period. we've got the Three of Swords, which in the way I was taught represents absence, delay and separation. So a kind of pause, but also the advice of this card is to start to use logic, bring logic to the heart, which, you know, brings us back to this Queen of Swords, trying to make the logical decision and stop focusing on the disappointments. And then we have the lovely dynamic King of Wands and the Ten of Swords coming after the Nine of Swords, which we've seen, which is really is the minor to the death. It's when we give up the old ways, we relinquish control, we realise we can't move forward in this way anymore, and things are released into the new phase. It's a very dramatic looking card, but actually I've come to love it. He's making a mudra with his hands, which indicates hope and new life, and there's dawn coming up, and it's kind of when you just stop struggling, you stop looking backwards, stop refusing the opportunities, you start going with what's presented to you, having a little faith, also giving up what's not working, allowing something to die in order for something new to come. So changing our perspective and allowing this fresh kind of entrepreneurial spirit of the King of Wands to come through by allowing a dying off of the old ways and allowing ourselves to heal and recuperate, which we've needed after all this worrying and disappointment and juggling mentally. Disappointment, or it's sort of more looking backwards, not taking the right perspective, refusing the opportunities that are being given to us. And in your attitude, the King of Cups, he's all at sea. I mean, he's still a king, he's still in command, but look at how wild that sea is. And he's on a platform and he does look worried. Let's look at how he's looking for me today. He doesn't look too bad, but you know, he is worried. He is the sort of energy of Pisces, of feeling so much that it can be a bit overwhelming. And we can see that because we can see you in two minds, and we can see you worrying in the Nine of Swords. Coming up in your environment, though, is the major four. So we've got these two other fours, the Four of Cups and the Four of Swords. Another major four of the Emperor. He's demanding some sort of structure and security for you, and he's sort of demanding a commitment, is what I want to say. He's sort of saying, time to put your money where your mouth is, and you can't muck around anymore. You've been sort of putting off this decision, and now we need to see you make the decision and move forward. And you know, he can be a little bit imposing, and some people really don't like him as a emperor, as a character. I absolutely love him because he represents structure, which is something I always think is quite secure making. And particularly when we see in your hopes and fears that you want to be the empress, you want to be creating something really abundant. You want to either be giving birth to a new project or a child or an opportunity. And, you know, in order to do that, what we're being shown here is there has to be some commitment to the next point, next stage. But to see them together, one after the other, suggests that if you accept his support, you will be able to make this moment of creativity to become abundant, to give birth to your new life, to your new opportunities, to new life, literally. That might be what it is. And where it's all leading, the Eight of Pentacles, it feels to me as if you're finally going, okay, I'm in it. I've got my head down. I'm becoming the artisan. I've actually focused now on where I need to go. And 8 is 2 fours put together. So I would suggest the 4 of the Swords, which is healing, and the major Emperor, of kind of healing and then accepting this new structure, this new way of being, this new commitment, will lead you into a position where you are now able to sort of get down and do the work. You know, whether it is concentrating on your diet so you can get pregnant, starting a new beautiful home project, starting something at work, beginning this new life. You have to, in order to sort of unleash that new daily artisanal practice, whatever it is around health or work or whatever, you have to commit to it. So let's just see. We've got 2 other decks here that I'm going to pull from. One is the Enchanted Forest, and this is kind of whimsical, and it will probably get us to focus on part of the reading. That's usually what they do. So what have we got coming out for you guys? The Seeker of Challenges. He's quite imposing. Let's have a look. He's quite scary. It's interesting. Let's see what he's demanding of you. I think he's the King of Swords, interestingly. Oh, wrong book. The Enchanted Forest Tarot. Seeker of Challenges. Keeper. Oh no, the Keepers are the Kings. So he's the Knight of Swords. So he's aggressive, forceful, skilled at confrontation, sharp-witted, sardonic, loyal in the marital sense, and can't be bribed. He's sort of reminding me a bit of him, isn't he? He's got that kind of armoured look, very much so, of the Emperor. An enormous knight stands immovably on the forest path. The white raven blazoned on his shield and the iron feathers on his black armour declare him to be the Seeker of Challenges. His helm conceals his face, but the sword in his hand and the readiness of his stance to speak of menace. His warhorse dances with impatience at a safe distance from the proposed battle. The Seeker of Challenges is not going to let you pass. He's spoiling for a fight, determined to find trouble and make it himself. If this card doesn't represent a particular person, it could indicate a situation that's reached an impasse, a breakdown in diplomacy, or a movement to war. I think what it's saying is, he's kind of saying enough is enough. This character in your environment as well. And potentially that's what you're grappling with and what's giving you so many issues. I'm seeing it as commitment. He's asking, like the idea of him being committed in marriage and unbribable. He wants you to be committed in your path forward. I think that's what this card is appearing to make a nod at. And then Rachel Pollock's Shining Tribe Tarot. Let's see what she's got to say. This is a little bit more esoteric and based on sort of indigenous wisdom. The Place of Rivers. So let's have a look at which one that is. And this is her spread, incidentally. This is the spread we're doing is her version of the Celtic cross. She was an incredible tarot scholar. Place of Rivers. 3 of birds. Oh, I saw the rivers 6. Okay, so it's going to be back here. Gift of Rivers. No of Rivers. Place of Rivers. So in short, it's a meditation, quiet inner peace, a chance to revitalize emotions through a time of withdrawal, a natural place where we go to feel peaceful, away from the pressures of our daily life. So of course that immediately brings to mind the 4 of Swords in your near future, where you rest and recalibrate. And just some little pieces from this. It's an inner world of peace and contemplation. We see someone kneeling before a pool of dark water. Has it gone? It represents the unconscious with its depths and mysteries, which we see in the star, you being able to pour back into. 2 rivers of lighter water feed into this pool. When we enter this world, we discover how our actions and emotions all feed back into the mystery of our inner existence. This card is a card of peace and discovery. There's a cave. People who enter caves turn their attention away from distractions and find a place within themselves. We call the Place of Rivers. And then there's a dolmen, symbolic entrance to the other world. That's above it. And this Place of Rivers allows us to release ourselves from all the doubts and confusions that accumulate around our pure inner selves. Because we are no longer the fool, we need to retreat from the world and sit quietly and return to purity. So it's really saying, it's bringing us back to that point where we surrender with the 10 of Swords, and we get into a different perspective with the Hangman and the 4 of Swords, and we just go into a peaceful place to allow, rather than pushing forward, it's a peaceful place in order to allow us to move forward and be committed in moving forward. On the other side of the pool, we see an outcrop of rocks, of a rock in the form of a dragon or a serpent. That's that red bit there. Many people have suggested that myths of dragon derive from energy lines that move on the earth. Ancient nomadic people may have followed such lines. In the place of rivers, the energy patterns of the earth lie at rest. So that's really lovely. It's kind of asking you to be fulfilled by rest, to allow rest and realignment to change your perspective. And through that, I think there's going to be this kind of incredible commitment that you make, this quite strong, armoured point of view, this commitment to your new path, which will obviously allow you then to do the hard work that gets you to where you need to go. I'm just going to pull one final little Rider Waite. Yeah, exactly. In confirmation, we've got the Hermit. We're in a Hermit year at the moment when I'm recording this. And the Hermit is the one who finds his true path. And look, he's got the light of the star that comes from your star card guiding him. And it's just saying, yeah, this reading is about you finding your true path. Stop looking backwards, stop fighting this change, and go forward with true commitment. And then that will give you the kind of structure and then the ability to bring your hard work in. And then you have this empress of creation that you're hoping to bring forward. She's supported by her emperor, and this could be a wonderful new phase. So well done.